About once a month or so, my family embarks on a challenge for a few days to take a look around our house and use up consumable items. This can be produce that is almost past its prime, that one container of yogurt that's left in the refrigerator, the few handfuls of pretzels that we've been packing in our lunches. I also usually take a look in our pantry and our freezer and see if there are things that I can use to create meals that will use up open packages of things. Plus, we also try to get the best bang for our buck with other non-food consumable items around our house, like cleaning products and personal care products as well. Taking a few days to focus on a task like this every once in a while helps us save money in the long term because we're going to use up things that we have around the house instead of making another trip to the store. But it also helps us be good stewards of our resources and of the money that we have already spent, because these are items we've already paid for, so we want to make sure that we are using them to completion. This time around, I felt like there were lots of little random fragments that we've been using up. Things like those last few frozen waffles in the freezer and the little bit of cereal that's left in the box in the pantry. I do still have some meals that I created for my family and some different treats and recipes that I whipped up with things we had hanging around. But I also mentioned some other ways that we try to apply this practice and this discipline to non-food consumables around our household. And I do have an entire playlist of videos like this one where we're trying to use stuff up, especially here in our kitchen. So that playlist is in the description box below if you like this video and you want to check out more like it. I was perusing my freezer for things that I would like to use up, things that have been in there for a little while, and I found some things that I think are going to make a really good lunch prep. I have had this pasta shells and pesto sauce for probably 3 or 4 months. I picked this up at Aldi, and it's one of those meals that you just heat it up and it's ready. And I like these kind of the pasta meals that don't have the meat in them, because then I can add stuff to them to make a complete meal. So I'm going to add this bag of broccoli florets, cook that according to the package directions. And to go along with that, I have these sweet Italian chicken sausages. So I'm going to defrost these and chop them up, and I'm going to toss them into a skillet to kind of give them a little bit of browning, but they are fully cooked, so they don't have to cook, but I do want to go ahead and brown them. I've decided I'm going to toss in this little package of feta cheese also that came in a meal kit, and I ended up not using this particular package. And I should get at least 4 lunches for this week that my husband or myself or our oldest daughter can take in her school lunch. I have half a package of these Rhodes thaw and rise and bake cinnamon rolls in my freezer that I need to use up. And my friend Jen over at Cook, Clean, and Repeat did something with these in a video over the summertime where she added some other ingredients to kind of upgrade them a little bit. And one of the ingredients was heavy whipping cream. And I actually have just a little bit of heavy whipping cream left in a container in the fridge to use up as well. So I thought I would make these up as a dessert for tonight. First, I'm going to get these out of the bag and into a pie plate to thaw and rise for the recommended time until they are about double in size. Now I'm going to pour over the top of them 1/3 of a cup of heavy cream, and then also 3 tablespoons of butter with 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. And then I will bake these at 350 until they are done. I'm not really sure how long that's going to take. Probably I'm going to check on them after about 12 to 15 minutes and we'll see how they look. I think that being a good steward of our resources is one of the aspects of frugality. And being frugal for me doesn't necessarily mean spending as little money as possible or getting things as cheaply as I possibly can. In my mind, it means being efficient, getting the most bang for my buck, which means using things up, using a product that I've already spent money on to completion. And sometimes being frugal means actually investing a little bit more money in a product that will give me more value over a longer time. And I think those two ways of thinking about efficiency can exist together and even overlap. It's why I sometimes hold on to food containers like this, just rinse them out and get a few more uses out of them before they go in the recycle bin. And also why I invest in glassware like this to store leftovers in the refrigerator. These are something that I repurpose and give a new life to a few more times before they go on their merry way. And this, along with several of its little friends, is something that costs me a little bit more money up front, but I've been able to use it so long that it was a really good investment. It has more than paid for itself. So for my family, sometimes being good stewards of our resources and being frugal actually means saving up and investing more money up front in a good quality product or in something that is going to drastically increase the quality of our life. And I see more and more evidence of this around my house, like in the kinds of appliances that I am purchasing, in the furniture that I am purchasing. I feel this way about shoes. I buy good quality shoes for myself and for my kids. I just buy fewer pairs for us because we spend a lot of time standing and walking in our day, and that's something that's going to affect our health overall. Another thing we spend a lot of our day in is our bed. And I have learned over the course of my adult life that sleep is really important and it can directly affect several aspects of our health. So investing in good quality furniture, good quality sheets, and a good quality mattress is super important for us. And that's why I am absolutely delighted that Birch Living is sponsoring today's video. Birch Living makes organic, non-toxic mattresses right here in America from just 4 materials sourced straight from nature: organic latex, New Zealand wool, American steel springs, and organic cotton. Birch Living also offers a 100-night sleep trial, so you can try out one of their mattresses risk-free. They also offer flexible payment plans and financing options, plus a 25-year warranty. And shipping is free, so it will show up right at your doorstep. You can shop online, purchase the mattress, have it shipped for free to your doorstep, and not ever have to set foot inside of a furniture or mattress store. Right now, when you go to birchliving.com/SEEMINDYMOM or visit the link in the description box below, you can get $400 off your mattress purchase plus 2 free pillows. Here it is, fresh out of the box, fresh out of the packaging, right onto the bed, onto the box springs. This is the queen size of the Birch Luxe mattress. So this is a queen size mattress, and the Luxe has this added topper on it, which makes the mattress a little bit taller. And we are going to just let this breathe for a few days per the package directions. In the instructions that came with the mattress, it says to let it sit for a couple of days in order to let it kind of adjust to the room and sort of fluff back up after being in the vacuum sealed packaging. Under penalty of law. Oh, except by the consumer. That's me. I'm the consumer, so I think we're good. So if you are in the market for a new mattress, go check out Birch Living. I'll leave them linked in the description box below, or you can go to birchliving.com/SEEMINDYMOM. And when you purchase the mattress, you're gonna get $400 off plus 2 free pillows. Thank you again to Birch Living for sponsoring today's video. We are here in my bathroom because I am getting ready to fix my hair and makeup for the day. And I wanted to take this opportunity to say that using up stuff in our household is not just limited to products and items in our kitchen. I'm also thinking about other things from around our house, like cleaning products and personal care items that we can get the most use out of and that we can make sure we are using to completion. I will often take foaming hand soap containers like this and put a little bit of Dawn and about twice as much water in them and shake them up and use them again for another round of hand soap in our bathrooms. And I'm getting to the end of my foundation that I use, and normally when I'm at the end of my makeup foundation, I will just take the lid off of it, maybe use a Q-tip to kind of get some of the rest of it out of the container, because I know that there's some still left in there, even if the pump is not working. But the kind that I have been using for the last couple of years, it doesn't have a removable lid. So what I did was take a pair of scissors and just cut it open because it was a soft tube like this. And I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but look at how much product is left inside there. So I'm just gonna take a clean container like this. I'll probably just get like a knife or something clean that I can use to scrape it out and put it in this container with a lid. And then I can just take a Q-tip, you know, and apply a little bit to my skin whenever I am ready to put it on. But there's probably at least like 2, maybe 3 weeks worth of foundation left in this package, and I was about to toss it. So I have had this pork loin sitting in my freezer for several months. It was sent to me by mistake. It came by mistake in my butcher box. What I had ordered was a pork shoulder, a bone-in pork shoulder, and they fixed the problem. They sent me the right product right away. But I've also had this other cut of meat in my freezer for a while. I'm not a huge pork loin fan. I'm just not a fan, I guess, of most of the ways that it's prepared. That's just me, personal preference. But I think I'm going to try to cook this in my Instant Pot and just turn it into shredded pork. Yes, I know that typically you don't use a pork loin for shredded pork, but that's just the way that we like to eat it, and it will be nice. We've got a busy weekend coming up. It will be nice to have this so that we can just make like quesadillas and salads and use it along with other odds and ends that we're trying to use up. So I'm gonna try this in my Instant Pot. Let's see if we can make it work. In my Instant Pot here, I have my pork loin, and I did go ahead and slice it up into 4 pieces. It's defrosted. I let it thaw in the refrigerator overnight so it's not frozen. And I'm going to take the easy route, and I'm going to just season this with this packet of Italian dressing mix that I actually found at the back of my pantry. So I don't really have a use for that right now except for this, so I might as well use it for this. So I've got that in there, and now I'm gonna add a cup of broth. This is just beef broth. And since this is a leaner pork than I would normally use to make shredded pork, I did go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of butter that I cut into little pats. And I'm gonna pop the lid on this, and I'm gonna set it to manual, to pressure cook manual for 50 minutes. And I'm hoping that that is going to make it nice and tender. I also had to show you my little Amazon impulse purchase for my Instant Pot. This little guy just sits on the valve. It's sealed right now. And when I do a natural release, I wouldn't need this, but if I'm doing a quick release, I could just switch the valve after it's done cooking, and this diverts the steam. But isn't that funny? The little minion steam diverter. I'll leave that linked in the description box if you want to check it out. Okay, I did let my natural release, and it's ready to open up. So I'm gonna see if we're able to get this cooked tender. Okay. I really hope that it'll fall apart. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, pretty good. Not bad. I think what I'm gonna do is actually shred this up, and then I'm gonna switch it to the slow cook setting and just let it kind of sit in the juices and slow cook a little bit to get some of the flavor from the juices and just make it even a little bit more tender. But I just have the 1 fork, and it's already shredding up pretty well.
McKenna, you helped make some quesadillas. What do we got there in the quesadilla?
So we got first a little bit of butter.
Okay.
Then we got some cheese. And did we put queso on it? I don't think we put queso on it. Then some meat and another tortilla.
All right, looks like a yummy pulled pork dinner.
We have a heated game going on here. If you can guess what game this is, leave me a comment. Into my crock pot, I am putting a few handfuls of spinach. I'm not gonna bother measuring it. A lot of artichoke spinach dip calls for frozen spinach, but some of the crock pot recipes use fresh spinach, and I'm trying to use some up, so that's what I'm gonna use. Going to add 1 can drained of artichoke hearts. I'm not gonna bother chopping these up any more than they already are, because I know that as they cook in the crock pot, I'm gonna be able to kind of stir them up, and they're gonna get really kind of soft and tender, and I'll be able to kind of break them up later on. I feel like this is a garlic to taste situation, so I kind of like garlic. I'm gonna put a few spoonfuls in there. 1 8-ounce container or 1 cup of sour cream. I'm gonna use a little everything anti-no-no seasoning in this as well. And then this is 1/2 cup of shredded parm and about 1 cup of shredded mozzarella that I'm putting in here. And I'm going to pop the lid on this and let it cook on high for about an hour and come back and give it a stir and see where we are. I almost forgot a very important ingredient, and that is a brick of cream cheese. So I have that right on top so that as everything is heating up in the crock pot, it will soften and it will be really easy to stir into everything here in a little bit. I cooked this on high for 1 hour and then stirred it, added just a little bit more spinach, and then let it cook on high for another hour, and it is absolutely perfect. I've already tasted it. I've turned this down to warm because I don't need it to cook anymore, but this was so easy, and this is really, really delicious, and it is going to be great alongside all of the other snacky things that we have out for Ruthie's birthday charcuterie, which she requested this evening. I mentioned something in a recent pantry challenge video that I think resonated with a lot of people, so I thought it was worth mentioning again. And that is that sometimes when I am doing this kind of exercise in my own household, it is helpful to remember that not every plate at mealtime has to look exactly the same. Sometimes I don't have enough of any one item to create the same meal for everybody, or sometimes we don't have enough leftovers from one specific meal to all eat that again. But sometimes if I just get out the bits and pieces of things that we have left, the various leftovers that we have hanging out in the fridge, everybody can make a complete meal from what's there, kind of like a leftovers slash kitchen fragments smorgasbord, if you will. And it's helpful sometimes to present it a certain way. Sometimes it just means getting everything out and visible so that everybody can see, oh, cheese and crackers. Or, you know, slice up those veggies to look really nice. Maybe get out a little ranch dip for them. Make a salad with the greens and the vegetables that are left in the crisper. Put those leftovers in another dish and reheat them. Maybe put a little extra cheese on that lasagna or something when I reheat it, so that people are reminded, oh yeah, I really like that. I want to eat that again. So that is actually what we are doing tonight. I have some leftovers. I have some charcuterie. I have some pizza left over from Ruthie's birthday party, and just a few odds and ends that I'm going to get out and encourage everybody to build their own meal, to make their own plate, so that we can kind of finish up using up those things before I move on to the next week of meals. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and thank you again to Birch Living for sponsoring it. Sponsorships are a way for me to earn an income for my family, sharing products that I really like while still keeping my videos and my content free to the viewer. So thank you again. Don't forget, if you want more Use It Up / pantry cooking videos, there's a playlist in the description box with all of the previous videos I've made along those lines. Pick out one of these videos to watch next, and I'll see you there.